There's a constant stream of new technology hitting the construction industry every day. Innovations like artificial intelligence, automation, and electrification aren't just concepts anymore. They're moving dirt on job sites as we speak.
We're pushing the envelope for electrification, autonomy, and connectivity.
With so much exciting innovation happening at once, it's easy to get distracted from what really matters: productivity, uptime, and return on investment.
If it doesn't work for the contractor, they're not going to like it, and they're not going to use it.
And instead of asking what's new, more contractors are starting to ask a tougher question: what will actually improve my business?
These solutions need to be simple. It's got to work and be reliable every time. And I think once contractors experience that, they can get past maybe some of the concerns that they've had about new tech.
I'm Ben Thorpe, Senior Editor at Equipment World, and you're watching The Iron Insider. Here to help answer the question of where equipment innovation is headed and what it truly means for contractors is Joel Honeyman, Vice President of Global Innovation at Bobcat Company. Why don't you tell viewers a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Well, I'm the Vice President of Global Innovation for Doosan Bobcat. I've been with the company going on 29 years. And as we were just talking, this is my 10th ConExpo. I've been here a long time.
So today we're talking about where the market for innovation is going, how contractors should approach new technology and what they can do to stay competitive. And we have a great introduction to that topic right here behind us, the X3. So why don't we just start with that segue? What's so exciting about this machine and what does it have to offer contractors?
Well, the X3 is a concept vehicle that we're pushing the envelope for electrification, autonomy, and connectivity. And so we're putting together all these future technologies to see what's possible, but it helps to inform us then of which technologies we might bring down into our equipment lineups. And this machine really helps us to look at that.
And we know contractors are interested in new technology like this, but we know people have concerns about things like cost, complexity, managing downtime. So how should contractors evaluate whether or not a new machine or piece of technology is right for their job site and their company?
Well, I'll tell you, they're right to be concerned because these solutions need to be simple, right? If it doesn't work for the contractor, they're not going to like it and they're not going to use it, and it's going to be bad for the industry. And so we as manufacturers have taken the approach, especially us at Bobcat, is these are building blocks. These are blocks that you can add to the equipment, add to the experience that allow a customer to experience a new technology in a very simple way. One of the great examples that we have here at the show is our radar object and collision warning system. And that allows us to detect objects, alert the operator. We're the first ones in the industry that will actually stop the machine, stop the loader from backing into those objects. Very simple system. You set it up once, you're done, and it works every time. And so that's an example of a technology. Again, it's got to work and be reliable every time. And I think once contractors experience that, they can get past maybe some of the concerns that they've had about new tech.
Right, that's a great example. Diving a little deeper into how contractors are going to think when they look at this new technology is return on investment. And that can be a simple or a complex thought. So when it comes to advanced equipment like what we have behind us here, how can contractors think differently about the concept of return on investment so they can see past just the price on the sticker and they can think about things like labor efficiency or data insights and things like that?
Yeah, I think, and contractors are getting more sophisticated looking and thinking about those things. Because when we talk to them, especially when it comes to autonomy or automated types of functions, they know their cost to labor. They know the challenges they're facing hiring labor. So one of the vehicles that we've introduced at a previous show was a zero-turn autonomous mower. And so people understand the labor savings, for instance, that they get from that. And then like the collision warning and avoidance system that I previously mentioned, they understand the damage potential on the site. They're calculating that in to understand whether there's a return for them to add that feature or not. So I think contractors have gotten better at calculating and understanding that, knowing that these technologies are available and they have to have an ROI for them to make it work.
Right. Moving on to something a little different. So for contractors who want to future-proof their fleets, but they can't overhaul everything they have at once, what's a smart first step that you recommend for them? Is it something like telematics or is it operator assist features? How should they prioritize what's available?
Yeah. I think it's try. I think there's ways for contractors to try some of this technology. And so I think asking your local dealer, no matter who it is, and saying, hey, I've seen this, I've read this, can I get a demonstration? Can I learn more? Is a way to cost effectively try it out. I always say, see if it works for you. If it doesn't, that's fine, but it may work for someone else. And so I think just asking some of those simple questions of whoever your dealer is a great way to start that out.
That's actually an important element to this too. How do you coordinate with your dealers to make sure that everybody's prepared to show contractors why this technology is valuable?
Yeah, and that's a challenge for us as a manufacturer, is educating our dealer networks. But a number of the new technologies that we've put out at Bobcat, we've done in limited launches. So we're working with a select number of dealers, select number of customers, and that's allowed us to tailor that support directly for them. And then we scale up from there. And so that's been very beneficial for us to learn, because we need to learn too the questions the customers are going to have. What challenges and issues might they have to help us, to help our dealer, to support them better. And so it's worked out quite well for us.
Great. Moving on to, it's kind of more of a forward-thinking question, because we know there's a lot of this technology hitting the market and it's not slowing down, more of it's coming. Looking ahead at the next couple of years, what are some of the challenges and opportunities you anticipate that not just Bobcat, but all the manufacturers are going to face as more of this technology is coming to market and it has to continuously prove itself to be valuable on job sites, and that ROI needs to solidify? What are some of the challenges going to be, and what are some of the bright spots where you can shine?
Yeah, and I think, one that we just talked about is us as manufacturers informing our dealer well enough so they can not only just sell it, but service and support it. Because if I'm a customer of new tech, I want to make sure that I have service and support for it. If there's a question or something takes place, I understand it. And some of that might be direct internet support. It might be from the dealer, no matter where it is. So I think that is an important piece for our industry to think about, is that first step. The other thing, it's got to be simple. Like, if this isn't simple tech, if it doesn't work every time, if it's not reliable, people are not going to use it. And it will give the whole industry and the technology a bad name. And so I think those are probably our biggest challenges in there, but they're able to be overcome. And the other thing I would mention is some of this tech isn't for everyone, and that's okay. We are there for the people who want simple hydraulic diesel machines. At Bobcat, we're going to build those a really long time. However, my inbox gets filled up with other types of customers, large fleet customers, other people, specific jobs and applications that want new technology. They're looking for this, and we're there for them too. So it's a both-and world, we like to say, when it comes to this new tech. And I think for us at Bobcat, allowing that to happen in the marketplace, letting the customer choose, is the best way for us to address it.
Okay, well, is there anything else that contractors should be thinking about when they're looking at technology like this or something another manufacturer has, and they're deciding if they should go for it or not?
Give it a try. Just try it. If it works for them, great. If it doesn't, that's fine too. But we'll never get there unless we work together on it.
And now, let's throw it over to Jordan to go over this month's data download.
Thanks, Ben. The data download is all about the numbers behind the machines. And this month, we're diving into two of the most surprising compact equipment launches at ConExpo. To size up the competition, we dug into the latest equipment finance data from Fusible's EDA. Caterpillar stunned with its entry into the compact utility loader market. The new TUL 100 is set to make its commercial debut in 2027. It's a 3,600-pound machine with a 24 horsepower engine and a 1,000-pound rated operating capacity. Now here's what they're up against. Stand-on mini track loaders were the 5th most popular product category in 2025, with nearly 11,000 new financed units sold, up 1.9% from the previous year. Bobcat led the pack, accounting for more than 4,000 of those units, followed by Kubota, Toro, Ditch Witch, and Vermeer. Given the number of low-cost options in this segment, Cat will need to enter the market at the right price point to make a dent. But we think this Cat-designed and built model will benefit from its undercarriage and control commonalities with Cat's compact track loader line. Kioti also surprised with its first ever mini excavators, marking the company's latest push into the construction space. The new MX series ranges from 3.5 to 5.7 tons and comes loaded with standard features, including an angle blade and thumb. Mini excavators were the second highest selling product category in the US last year, with more than 33,000 new finance units sold. That's down about 5% from 2024, but still a massive competitive space. The top-selling new minis in 2025 were the John Deere 35P tier, Cat 305CR, and the Kubota KXO 57-5. However, by total volume, Kubota held on to the top spot with more than 7,600 units sold. How will Kiot's units fare against these established construction brands? We'll be tracking that closely and breaking it down in our next annual Mini Excavator Quick Data Report. To stay up to date with the latest equipment sales trends and all things construction, head on over to equipmentworld.com. That's all for this month's data download. Special thanks goes out to RogueX Rental in St. Germain, Wisconsin. We hope this helps you in your business. We'll see you next time.